There's one. Got him. There we go. There's one. Got him. Oh, look at that. There's one. Got him. Welcome back, everybody. So I am super excited to be out fishing today because we are fishing with the last bait in our Berkley Lab Series. This is probably the most desired bait out of the three, but probably the most unfamiliar to me. I don't do a ton of strolling. I don't scope a whole lot, even though I do have live scope. So if I can catch a fish with this thing today, it's probably the last minnow bait you'll ever need. This is actually the bait that Dylan Nutt had won the Bassmaster Classic on. He said he caught a ton of fish on this. I don't know exactly what color it was, but we are going to go out and fish with this guy today and hope we do well. To increase our odds, I need everything, all the help I can get. We did bring out live scope, so hopefully that helps. We'll finally be able to stand too. We didn't bring out the kayak, got the mini boat out, so everything should be in our favor. But if you haven't seen the other two videos in the series, we fished the flatworm and the finesse worm, did very well on both of them. Go check out those videos. Tons of fun. I like these baits a lot. What we did decide in those videos is that we're going to go ahead and do a giveaway. Whatever we don't use in these boxes, we're going to go ahead and give away to somebody. It'll be over on my Instagram, so go check that out. By the time this video drops, it'll probably be live, so go check that out for rules and everything else like that. If you tried to buy these, they sold out insanely quickly. So a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to go ahead and get them, which is why we're doing the giveaway. I didn't buy extras, unfortunately, so I can't give out fresh packs by any means, but I'll give out whatever I don't use, and you will be able to have the opportunity to go ahead and use all three of them, or try them out at least. But as far as the Berkley Lab Series, if you haven't seen the other videos, basically Dylan Nutt won the Bassmaster Classic, said he caught a ton of fish on this thing, and social media went crazy. Everybody wanted these things. The hype has been real for like a month and a half or something like that, and they dropped on the 5th of May, I believe it was, and they sold out insanely quick. They are $15, insanely expensive for a plastic. The novelty, or the reason that they are, you know, supposed to be so great is Berkley has always had the power bait, and recently it's got the max scent. Well, this includes all of those. So with the max scent, you basically had matte finished lures, so they didn't have a ton of colors. But now that they added the power bait, you have much more interesting colors, and you still have that max scent in there for all that scent. And also it's got a max scent rapid release, which is what everybody raves about, and that's that slime that comes off of it. So we fished a couple other videos. That slime lasts 20 to 30 minutes per lure, so wish it was a little bit longer, but it is what it is. I'm sure that's probably about the longest you possibly could make that. Ideally, Berkley would come out with a powder that you would just be able to apply to any plastic. Hopefully that's in the future. Berkley, I highly doubt you're listening, but if you are, we want it. So that's that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get out and fish. All right, so this is our minnow bait. We got the Highland shad. It's kind of a shad pattern with a little bit of chartreuse, maybe some goldish looking in there. We're going to go ahead and start off strolling, doing our best. Again, I'm not good at it, so we'll try our best. And if that doesn't work, we'll put it on like a fluke, or maybe even like a drop shot or something like that, and see if we can't catch some fish some type of way. But you definitely shouldn't take any pointers from me as far as strolling, so we're just going to do our best and hope we catch a fish. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. Let's get after it. All right, there she is, all rigged up. I put it on as straight as we possibly could. The inside of this, actually, the minnow actually feels a little hollow. I don't know exactly why, but it does. So let's go ahead and we'll dip her in the water so everybody can see why everybody's so excited about this thing. And that slime, don't know how easy it is to see, is what everybody's so excited about. And this does last about 30-ish minutes. So again, you want to be fishing. If you have scope, I would most certainly recommend scope, because you just want to be in an area that you know there are fish, so that you're not just wasting this slime, because that's essentially what you bought it for. So do as I say, not as I do. Let's go ahead and start chucking around so we don't lose that slime. Well, I strolled my little heart out for about 2.5 hours without a single bite. I did have a couple follows, but they didn't commit in the least, so not great. I don't think this has anything to say about this bait. I think it much more has to say about how bad I am with strolling. In the right hands, this apparently can win the Bassmaster Classic. So I think we're going to come out one more time and fish this bait. Maybe stroll it, but probably fish it a little bit more in a technique that's in my wheelhouse. So to see if we can't catch a couple fish, and it is a 5-inch minnow, so in theory we should have a chance at some bigger fish. But we'll fish this one more time and then talk about them, and then talk about giving some of this stuff away too. All right, so this is our last day fishing with the Berkley Lab Series. If you watched the beginning part of this video, I didn't catch a single fish, but I am absolutely terrible strolling. So that's par for the course. So we're trying to fish something a little bit more familiar to me, and see if we can't end up with a few fish, and then we'll talk about the giveaway at the end of the video. But let's see if we can't catch a couple decent ones on our last day. There's one. Got him. There we go. Not a bad one. Oop. When you're playing around with big old EWGs, you don't have to worry about them too much. Coming off. There we go. Little guy. Probably not quite 2 pounds. 1 3/4 pounds. Let him go. Thanks for playing. We're gonna really test the durability of these things now that we're using something a little bit more stout, less finessey. But that's our first one, first bite. Hopefully gets much better from there. I do have some other some of the worms and whatnot from the other video, so I might use those also at some point in time. But right now we're focused on catching them on the minnow bait. Very nice. Hope there's more where that came from. There's one. Got him. Oh, little guy. Little guy. Oh. That was a real little one. Oh, there's some wakes back there. Holy cow. Oh my. There we go. Little guy. Let him go. Well, that's 2 on here. It's not many. They're not big, but there's 2, and she's still holding together. I don't know for how much longer, though. It's a big old EWG. All right. Maybe they're finally starting to pick up. Or we'll have to go out into Main Lake, or a little bit closer to Main Lake, to see if there's some bigger ones. There's one. Go. There we go. Took a little bit. Oh. Right. Oh my. Little guy, but we got him. There we go. Little guy. I'm surprised the bigger ones aren't eating. The bigger ones were eating the smaller baits, but they won't eat a 5-inch minnow. Still holding together. Our first one. Starting to get kind of torn up though, but 'tis to be expected. See if we can catch a couple more before the night. Oh, there's one. What in the world? Our first cast with the bass puzzle grass piece, and we get into a decent one. We might have been throwing the wrong bait all day. Oh. quick release. Holy cow. So I had talked about it when we'd use the finesse worm. One of my favorite things to do with a finesse worm, especially when they get beaten up, is to throw them on the back of a vibrating jig. And that was our first cast, and we laid into one. So, and this was with the Berkley's Lab Series finesse worm. So it does work. Maybe we shouldn't have been throwing the minnow bait today, unfortunately, but it's a little late in the day to do much else. But let's go ahead and see if we again can't catch maybe one or two more. I think the minnow baits are just probably done, to be honest. We had a couple bites, but it wasn't anything phenomenal. Well, this is not how I thought today would go, but nevertheless, I don't want to fish with these another day. I want to go ahead and give them away to somebody. So let's get back to the house and then talk about our baits, talk about our series, and then talk about the giveaway. All right, we made it home after fishing with the minnow bait. We didn't do phenomenal today by any means. I think that has a lot to do with the weather. We've had shifts in temperature day to day, like 20 to 30 degrees. So fishing hasn't been phenomenal, but we did catch fish with every single lure that we used. I think that goes to show that there is no magic lure. There's not a bait that's just going to force fish to bite and you're always going to have a phenomenal day. I think there are lures that are better than others in certain circumstances, especially. But there's not going to be just one bait that you're going to be able to fish forever and slay them every single day. But nevertheless, as far as the Berkley Lab Series, I absolutely do love these baits. We by far did the best on the finesse worm. Caught some good 3-pounders and caught a fair number of that fish that day also. The flatworm did all right. We missed our big fish on those, unfortunately, but that was fishing in less than ideal situations for that. Probably shouldn't have been fishing drop shot in that thick of vegetation. And the minnow bait, I think, was not a phenomenal day by any means, because we fished other lures too and didn't really have much for bites. But it was, I think that had more to do with weather than anything. And again, that is very much a strolling bait, and I am bad at strolling. So again, there's not a lure that's just going to make you phenomenal if you're not, somewhat decent at that technique already. But I like the baits a lot. I've said it throughout the entire series. They're expensive. Each one of these packages is $15. They're sold out still, I think, everywhere for the most part. $15 gets you different colors than the max scent lures that already exist, and gets to use that slime for like 30 minutes. So if that's something that's worth it to you, I would say these are very, very worth it. If you don't think that 30 minutes of slime or the colors really matter that much, I would go with a max scent worm or just a normal power bait lure, to be honest. But they are more durable than I thought. I expected them to kind of be almost like a Senko and get destroyed after a fish or two. They actually lasted quite a while. They lasted a lot longer than that slime stayed around. So I would say if you're fishing a tournament and every bite matters, and you have scope on a fish and you can't get them to bite, I think that slime would potentially be that ticket that maybe we get those fish to bite. And since you know that they're there, you're not wasting that slime casting around trying to find them. So in situations, I think it would be very worth it. But I probably won't buy them again until they end up hoping that they drop in price a little bit. And I guess, again, said it in every video, wish list is that they come out with that powder that you're able to, soak the baits in, or go ahead and just, dust on top that creates that slime, and you can use it for multiple baits, different types of plastics, all sorts of stuff like that. So hopefully they come out with that. I kind of expect that they would, but I guess you never know. But yeah, that being said, let's get to the fun stuff. So we fished all these lures. Now, I said it from, I think, the first video that we are probably going to do a giveaway, and that's what we're going to do. Just because those baits still are sold out. And again, they are expensive, so now everybody's able to buy them. So we fished every single one of the lures, and we're giving away what we have left. So make sure to like this video, comment, share for anybody who wants the opportunity to go ahead and win these. But we'll go ahead and do that over on my Instagram. It's 608 Fishing 1. Go over there. We'll have the rules and everything else like that over there. And that's how I've done all of my giveaways, and it's worked out pretty well. So as far as this goes, again, it's the ones that we have left. We only used one of the minnows. We used, I think, 2 of the flatworms, and, or sorry, 2 of the finesse worms, and then 1 of the flatworm. So almost full packages for everybody. As far as colors go, we got Violet Morning Dawn, the Morning Dawn Red Flake for the finesse worm, and then Highland Shad for the minnow bait, and the minnow's in a 5.25 inch. So, yeah, we'll give all that away to one person. Hopefully they catch a ton of fish with it. Hopefully they enjoy it a lot. And if you do end up catching some absolute monsters, I'd appreciate a notification either on YouTube or Instagram, something like that, to show me all the big fish that you catch. But yeah, dip on over to my IG to look at that. And again, I'd appreciate likes and comments on this one so more people can go ahead and see it. But as always, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till next one.